and sends them to the other side. The other thing is that we talked about the fact of the matter is because of the temperature is oftentimes never right when God sends you to do a work. The atmosphere is never right. It's not conducive. You don't feel comfortable. And the last thing, they were troubled because the last time they went over, they had trouble with him on the boat. So they were afraid, most definitely now, because he wasn't on the boat. And he can send them. But we see the illustration of true discipleship that they follow his voice even though they do not see his body. And one of the greatest signs of being a follower of Christ, even if I don't see a manifestation of him right now, I still follow the inward witness of his voice or his presence verbally to me, even though I haven't seen the manifestation, because I trust him for what he's already done in his works. And so tonight we're going to look at the book of Jonah for just a few moments. I'm going to preach, but grab that mic and I don't know if this is your song, but Never Would Have Made It. And then we're going to get ready to share the word of God. Are those new glasses, son? Okay, Sean got glasses. You got glasses. I got some at the shop. I got to go pick up. So, yeah, we got 6 eyes if you need them. Never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. As a result of that, something happens that's catastrophic. Now, all of a sudden, the people that he does not like, he does not want to associate with, God says, go warn them that I'm getting ready to destroy the land. He says, wait a minute. You mean I got to go to my enemies? The folks I don't like? And I got to tell them what? Literally what he tells God is, excuse my terminology, hell no. I can't do that. He flicks a proverbial finger in the face of God and says, God, I believe you on everything else. But Nineveh, And I know right off bat we start saying, I wouldn't do that to God. Because as long as the assignment feels good, I'll do it. But if the drunk stinks, I can't put him in my car. If they got too many problems, I don't want to deal with them. If they depressed and I got, oh God, every time they come with that sob story, man, I just can't take that. Will you get yourself together? Because oftentimes the assignment that God has on your life will not be comfortable for you. It doesn't feel good. It's not the thing that you get excited about. It wasn't like he would say, oh God, I'm going to Nineveh, Lord. I'm excited. I'm going to Nineveh. I'll be in Nineveh tomorrow, y'all. Guess what, man? I'm on the way to Nineveh. Like the church has gotten in a place. Why God addresses the issue of Nineveh is because there's a sin problem in Nineveh. And I want to tell you that the church, God has called the church to address a nationwide problem. And he's raising up prophets and priests and teachers and evangelists and people that will share the word of God and be willing to go places where that it ain't comfortable for you to go. I want to share that some of you guys going to send you to crack houses. And you ain't going to be able to smoke. God's going to send you to people that you don't want to associate with. Because and kind of get out. We're just going to hit this for a little bit. I'm going to do this and I'm out of here. See, and the funny thing about it is that when greed sets in, they just never get out. Now watch the illustration. This man assumes that he can escape the will of God without consequences. And I'm talking to you that you know that God's hand is on your life. You know that God has purpose on your life. You know there's an assignment on your life. And you keep bucking after surrendering to the purpose of God. Man, I know, but I can't go right now. But Nineveh needs you right now. I ain't ready to set out and get all deep in the church. I know I should be in my Bible and praying and crying out before the Lord. I know I should be seeking God. I know that God has a greater work on my life. I know there's an assignment on my life. I know that there's purpose on my life. I know that I should be carrying the word of God. I know that I should be doing. But man, I ain't really ready to get down like that with God. Man, I love him and everything, but he want me to be too serious right now. And I'm still young. I still got my life ahead of me, and I still got plans. Is he hides your greatness and keeps your imperfection so apparent. You started so busy looking at what you don't have that you can't see the spear of what you do have. Because unless you see what you do have, you're liable to get caught up on your own stuff, realizing who you are, that you're all of that. So he balances your life out. Now, this guy gets on the ship, pays his fare to sin, and goes to sleep. See, he assumes that he can have the same peace of God even though he's out of the will of God. Let me share this with you. You know, the peace that passes all understanding. Remember the time in your life you could just go to sleep and everything was okay, and whatever happened today, just whatever. I'll deal with it tomorrow. You remember when you could do that? And now sometimes it just so much stuff riding on you. Because he understood, he thought he could experience the peace outside of the will. The same peace he experienced in the will, he could experience outside the will. And brothers and sisters, it doesn't happen like that. The boy takes a nap, and they wake him up and says, every man call on your God. A storm arises because he is out of the will of God. Hear me. There are some storms going on in your life because you're not willing to commit to the will of God. Now get this now. I want to share this with the text. When God speaks, he moves. He just doesn't go the right way. Sometimes you move when God speaks, you just don't do what he tells you. This man moves, but Horace, he goes the wrong way. And as a result of it, you got to check your storm. Ask the person beside you, have you checked your storm yet? Have you figured out why it's there? Because there are storms when you're in the will. And then there are other storms when you're out of the will. Oh, this ain't fun. This ain't one of the fun messages. So the question is, I want to ask you is, are you doing everything you can to change Nineveh? What so concerns me is the other day I got a call, and I'm a little different tonight than I know I've been teaching for a minute. I'm a little